So I just closed on my very first rental property, a duplex, about 20 to 30 minutes away from where I live. Right now, I'm about to meet a plumber. I'm going to deposit cash that I already received rent for the property, and just see if there's any updates needed on the property that I should take care of to improve on the property and the property value. What's up, YouTube? Biz Matthew here. Welcome to my channel. At this new property, I kind of show you all around and walk you all and talk to you all about the deal of this property, how much I got it for, my down payment, how much I'm supposed to get for rent, and the updates needed on this property, which are not many at all, but I just want to make sure it's a good living situation for my renter. I'm also going to go to the bank to deposit money on this rental property. It's crazy because I closed on this property on Tuesday, and the very next day, Wednesday, June 1st, I was able to collect rent without even paying my first mortgage payment on this property. I already collected rent. So, my mortgage is already being paid off immediately, right? It cash flows immediately. So this is an amazing deal. And so I'm going to talk to you all about it and just bring you all along with me and show you around the property. All right, you all, so now I'm in front of the house. I just met with a plumber because there were some issues with just the water pressure being too high on one of the sides. And so, yeah, this is the property. All right, so yeah, this is a duplex property. So there's 2 beds, 1 bath on each side of the property. Currently, the rent before I even got it was $950 a side. And so I actually made an adjustment and I just raised it a little bit, just $45 on each side. So now it's going to rent for $995 a month. So close to that 1,000 mark. And I'll just show you all a little peek inside because this tenant just recently moved in. So they don't have like a lot of their personal belongings. And plus I'm right now having people, like some contractors look at it just to get a few updates. For example, there's a crack in the window that I had someone view it, and I always let my renters know, hey, I'm about to view the property. Is this time fine? Works for you? I'm gonna walk through the house with a contractor and they're okay with it, So it's always good to make sure, you make them aware, not just pop into their house because this is their dwelling, this is their sacred sanctuary, so you gotta respect it, even though I own this property. So this is a working class area. So there's 2 beds, bedroom right there, not gonna go in there. And then there's the bathroom, and then there's laundry. We got HVAC running. So this whole property is around 1,400 square feet. So around 700 to 750 per side, the square footage. But in this area, what I'm renting for, this is totally normal. Properties in this area can even rent for, like at this size, like $1,100-$1,200. And so I think, I'm priced at a good price, and plus I'm able to cash flow with this property. How I found this property, I was just looking online. I was working with a realtor, just looking for a rental investment property. So this was just your classic, put money down, rent ready property that I was looking for because, doing wholesaling, doing YouTube, I was able to build some cash, and I was all like, and just hearing from other investors, they don't keep all their money in their bank. And I'm like, I have money to put a down payment on a property. I need to have this money work for me and not just have it sit in a savings account where I'm losing money because of inflation and everything. And just reading books, hearing what I hear from other people that I look up to in this industry, I felt like this was the best use of my cash. And so I was able to work with the realtor. We saw different properties. I made offers on different ones. And then this property actually showed up. I saw it on Zillow. It was on the for sale by owner side of everything. And then from there, I contacted the seller immediately. It was like probably the same day that he listed it or a day afterwards. It was really quick. And it was listed for $200,000, exactly $199,000. I was like, hey, I'm interested. Can I schedule a time to view this property? Send him a text. So he showed me the property, only one side of the property because someone else was living in the other side. And he told me the numbers. They get $950 per month. And he's selling it at basically $200,000. And he's getting close to that 1% rule in a working class neighborhood. It's near the highway, super accessible to people going to work, going downtown to work, going to different areas in the city. And I was like, okay, the numbers automatically make sense for me. Like if I'm going to put a good amount of down payment and this is what I'm getting for rent, this is already a deal. But, I wholesale, I know how to talk to sellers. And so I negotiated. I was like, hey, are you open to offers? And he was all like, yeah. I mean, and, I try to get a number out of him. This is already a deal at its price. So even if he rejects my offer, I'm still probably going to go forward with it. And so what happened was I just threw out an offer. I was like $180,000. He was like, oh, wow. Actually, that was the lowest price I was willing to go. And so I was all like, wow. And then I was like, okay, I work with the realtor. He can send you the information, paperwork and everything. And he was like, okay, cool. The agent fee was $3,600. And so what we did, we just adjusted the sales price. So we adjusted the sales price to $183,600. And then the seller would give me a credit of $3,600 at closing. If that makes sense, we just wrapped in the cost of the fee into the loan. So I don't have to pay that outright. It's just in the loan itself, right? So I can make payments essentially on the agent's fee. There's some ups and downs with closing, lack of communication. It was always hard reaching the seller. The seller only communicated through text, and the seller would take a while to respond to text, maybe like weeks sometime. With my realtor said, he never dealt with a seller like that where it was difficult to reach them. I'm going to do a real estate transaction where I don't put any of my own money down. That's my goal. Like to do that so you all can see that, doing a burr or maybe doing a flip or something like that. But this property, I had to put 25% down. So that's why my mortgage payment is lower than usual. So my mortgage payment is $840, but with escrow and everything, it's $1,000, $1,004, right? And so I closed on the 31st, rent is due the 1st, and I collected $1,900. Right? Isn't that crazy? Like, I'm already making money. I just made like almost $800 just buying a property, putting money down, and now it's making money for me, right? What kind of interest is that? Like, if I kept it in my savings, I wouldn't be an extra $800 from the interest of that, So like, that's powerful. And I think it's really important for you all to see that. Invest your money, invest your talents, put it to work. Yes, there's a risk of losing it. It's so powerful when you can see a return from putting effort into something. Cash flow, looking at cash flow, I have expenses like I schedule for like maintenance, capital expenditures, and vacancies, all of that, I put like 20%, it's around $400. Right now it's not vacant, so I'm actually keeping that money. Right now, I already budgeted before buying the house to put money into some updates, so that's gonna cost me money. I should be cash flowing around $800 if I'm good on capital expenditures and vacancies. But taking that into consideration, being conservative, I should cash flow $500. So that's $250 for each side of this property duplex. So I think this is pretty great, a good deal. My inspector said it was a good house, even though there was a few things needed to be updated. I just met with a plumber yesterday. He was like, oh, this is a nice house. This is a good house. But yeah, so we'll see how this turns out. I'm ready for this new challenge in my life, being a landlord. This is my very first property that I own. Yeah, okay, so let's talk about money again. So $183,000, I had to put 25% down. What is that? Like almost over 40 grand. And then at closing costs, lender fees, because I went with a lender, my interest rate is 6.125 because interest rates are high and investment loans interest rates are higher, like around $50,000 down on this property. So my loan amount is around $137,000. So, and I know a lot of you all are not in that situation. And for me, that was a big amount. Like that took the majority of my savings. So it's not like I'm rolling cash. I don't have like 6 figures in the bank account, but I'm all like, Matthew, take this risk. Just move this money to another savings account, which is a property, right? And so, I just moved that to here. And so My bank account is much lower now, which is, you know, a little bit, you know, stressful, but I think that pushes me better to work harder. All right, you all, hope you all enjoyed this video. Keep me updated on what you all are doing in real estate.